This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, the Dunedin North Electoral Office is helping people to get voting as election day draws near. The occupants of a logging truck and a train had a lucky escape after a collision in Invercargill. And today is the 7th anniversary of the earthquake which devastated many areas around Christchurch. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. The Dunedin North and Dunedin South Electoral Office is helping people to get voting as election day draws near. Reporter Roselle Labone found out it's not too late to enrol.
Every day, Registrar Dee Vickers deals with forms and would-be voters. There are the forms that are not correctly filled out, and then there are the people who have not yet got their name on the roll. It's Vickers' job to make sure everyone's vote gets through before the election in 19 days' time.
Last month alone, in that hard-to-get target group of 18 to 24-year-olds, we increased the enrolments by 2,000 just in 1 month.
Constituents in electoral offices like this one for Dunedin North and Dunedin South are still signing up.
If you don't vote, you got no say. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to put our opinion through.
Vickers says the ability to enrol remains open to all until the day before the election.
For the first time this year, we have an arrangement at the advance voting booths whereby you can enrol and vote at the same time.
The Orange Man has been recruited again this election to attract the youth vote.
Our orange guy, who everybody sees in the media and on TV, has become a real live entity down on the university campus, and the students are really getting in behind him.
Vickers won't say who she is voting for at this election. However, she is more than happy to help anyone have their say on election day. The electoral office has moved from Moray Place to 44 Falluel Street and is open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. Roselle Labone, The South Today.
Ashburton's endangered black-billed gulls are back home. Each year, thousands of birds nest on braids, some just sticking out of the water of the Ashburton River just below the State Highway 1 bridge. Black-billed gulls settled weeks ago just before a flood in the river all but removed their nesting space. But a day later, with shingle islands protruding, they were back. Last season, around 1,400 gulls fledged from colonies along the river and a fence erected to keep onlookers back from birds and nests. Also, predators such as weasels, hedgehogs and stoats have been trapped to give the young birds a fighting chance. The bird has the unwanted status of being one of the most threatened gull species in the world. It is endemic to New Zealand and its numbers are falling. The black-billed gull is more slender than the red-billed gull with a longer bill. The occupants of a logging truck and a train had a lucky escape after a collision in Invercargill this morning.
Emergency services were alerted to the incident at the intersection of Lake Street and Bluff Highway at about 11:10 a.m. Police say it's unclear how the truck and train collided, but all involved had escaped with only minor injuries. The impact of the collision was enough to separate the logging truck from its trailer unit. A truck driver in the area who wished to remain anonymous said the intersection was notoriously dangerous and that he had seen many near misses there. Police remained at the scene and the cause was still under investigation. I'm Sharon Rees for The South Today.
The lawyer of Colin Bowers says the convicted wife killer is pleased to be granted release from prison. The New Zealand Parole Board confirmed its decision today to release Bauer as they've found he is no longer an undue risk to the community. The 67-year-old is subject to a deportation order and upon his release from prison on October the 11th will be handed to either Immigration New Zealand or New Zealand Police to be returned to his native South Africa. Bauer's lawyer David Moore says Bauer is happy with the decision. Today is the 7th anniversary of the earthquake which devastated many areas around Christchurch. Some of the former red zone areas are now being turned into parkland and even in Kaiapoi, even a community fruit forest. The South Today took a look.
Once home to about 580 families, this vacant land in Kaiapoi is now being developed into sports fields, a BMX track, a dog park, a memorial garden and a fruit forest. As advocate Ben Cairns discovered, many of the trees are already on site.
When all of the houses were removed from the area, all of these fruit trees were left, and we couldn't believe the volume of fruit trees in the area. There were apples and pears and blackboy peaches and that sort of thing.
Waimakariri District Councillor Al Blackie is supporting the regeneration of the area.
We've got 90 hectares of land here that we're working hard on getting schemes off the ground to build up a community-based area that will benefit the people of Kaiapoi.
The forest will be a place where families can have picnics as well as gathering fruit.
There's also going to be underplanting of berries and strawberries, wild strawberries. There's going to be lots and lots of food that you can come and gather.
One of the features of the forest will be a fruit salad tree.
Now, a fruit salad tree is a tree where I've been grafting multiple fruits onto one fruit. So we've got a blackboy peach as the main stem, and then what we've been doing is grafting apricots, nectarines and other stone fruit onto one tree. So those are the sort of things that people are going to be planting on the 16th, along with some of the shelter belts and that sort of thing around the area.
The Kaiapoi community are invited to help with planting next Saturday, September the 16th, from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
Still to come on The South Today, the Dunedin City Council is asking for the public's ideas for possible uses for Samis, and fossickers appear to have stolen moa bones from an important archaeological site near Oamaru.
The Gate Hospitality and Tourist Centre is a standout attraction of Cromwell and Central Otago for travellers and locals alike, featuring the Harvest Hotel, which is Central Otago's gateway accommodation, featuring standard and premium rooms, which open onto breathtaking mountain, vineyard and rural views. The Harvest Hotel also has a relaxing, sun-trapped courtyard and standalone conference and wedding centre. The Hunting Lodge-themed Five Stags Bar and Restaurant provides an honest, welcoming, family-friendly place to grab a great feed and a relaxing beverage. Forage Information Centre and Cafe is light and spacious and serves fabulous food and bedazzling beverages and offers information and booking services. In every season, for every reason, the Gate Hospitality and Tourist Centre has something for everyone.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
Feel the soothing effects of sunny chins, back manipulation and crystal therapy. 1 hour half price special for the month of September. Normally $110, now $55. Book your session today.
Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. Call now on 473 8252. Please adopt a pet now, they will love you forever.
For 3 generations, the Kilpatrick family have ensured Jimmy's pies are still world famous in the South Island. Made to an old family recipe, Jimmy's pies have been one of New Zealand's traditional takeaway foods, prepared daily on the premises alongside a range of savouries, sausage rolls and cakes. Jimmy's pies are distributed throughout the lower South Island. Jimmy's pies are sure to satisfy your travelling munchies.
Hi, Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Just think, 80 years ago, this year, my grandfather set up Alex Campbell Menswear right on Cargill's Corner in South Dunedin. We've had some great years, bringing Otago and Southland the very best of menswear for both business and everyday needs.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
Circopolis, a crossroads between imagination and reality, limits and possibilities. Described as Cirque du Soleil's hipper, sexier cousin. Don't miss this extraordinary show. At the Region, 23rd to 26th November. Book now.
Welcome back. The Dunedin City Council is asking for the public's ideas for possible use for the building known as Sammy's. The DCC purchased the building earlier this year and says it's open to future possibilities for the Crawford Street site. Council Arts and Culture Committee Chair Aaron Hawkins says the council wants to give people a say on its future. He says the canvas is blank. Originally known as the Agricultural Hill, it was built in 1896 and condemned in the 1970s before becoming Sammy's in 1983. The submission window is open until October 23rd this year. Fossickers seem to have stolen moa bones from an important archaeological site near Oamaru. The Awamoa site has become exposed after recent storms. The South Today went to have a look.
The Awamoa foreshore near Oamaru includes an archaeological site dating back to moa hunting times, approximately 650 years ago. Retired historian Dr. David Harrowfield said there was concern that now the site was exposed by the storm, moa bones, flake stone artefacts and oven stones would be vulnerable to further thefts, as well as another storm washing the material out to sea.
I said, well look, I've got the time available, I'm retired, where possible we can go down, but I'd like to see it done archaeologically. So everything is recorded, everything is numbered, boxed up.
New signs have been installed by the council this month in the hope to deter fossicking at the site. Stealing from archaeological sites can result in criminal prosecution with a fine of up to $60,000. Dr. Harrowfield feels the site deserves further archaeological investigation.
I have been asked whether formal excavation will add any more to what we've had from previous excavation or from what Jane Matchin and I have collected now. Indeed, there is a lot more can be added. I think there's a lot to learn about Awamoa site yet, because it's very early, and importantly, it is the first place in New Zealand where an archaeological stratigraphy was recorded, and that was by Walter Mantell in 1852. So, from the perspective of the Maori community and the European community, for Aotearoa, it's a very important site.
The material Dr. Harrowfield has collected and cleaned last month is to be transferred to a temporary home at Oamaru's North Otago Museum. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
TV presenters Mark Richardson, Duncan Garner and Aziz Sarafin got the royal treatment when they visited Invercargill at the weekend. The trio were officially greeted at the Invercargill airport on Friday night before spending the weekend touring Southland's major hotspots. South Today's Sharon Rees joined them for the sweetest part of their tour.
The AM shows Mark, Duncan and Aziz wrapped up their trip of Invercargill with a true taste of Southland at the Seriously Good Chocolate Company. After visiting some of the city's biggest attractions over the weekend, the trio geared up for a lesson in chocolate making.
We had a great reception at the airport, for one, that was a highlight. And then yesterday morning we went surfing at Curio Bay. I was excited about that because it's the first time Duncan and Aziz have been surfing, so to take them to Curio Bay for the first experience was just so cool. And then we went to a brewery, Invercargill Brewery, and got ourselves ready for the rugby. This morning we've been to the Richardson's Transport Museum and the motorbike one as well. It's been awesome actually.
Once their fillings had been piped, the media celebs finished their sweets with a chocolate covering before leaving them to dry so they could tuck into a different kind of Southland treat. Richardson, who has made his love for the city well known, said the highlight of the trip was being made an honorary member of Invercargill and being presented with the key to the city by Mayor Tim Shadbolt.
Yeah, that's quite an honour. It's quite humbling, and
It was, I went really red and sweaty and flushed actually. I didn't expect it at all. And it was fantastic actually. I'm still grinning because of it, yeah.
He says Invercargill is his favourite place in New Zealand and always looks forward to visiting the rough diamond of a city. I'm Sharon Rees for The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, Naseby Forest was resounding to the barks and yelps of dog teams this weekend, and the remarkable ski field celebrated the end of winter yesterday.
For all your news from the southern regions as it happens, go to our Facebook page. The South Today, connecting you with your community thanks to New Zealand On Air.
We're a 25 Moray place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Kaikoai Valley Road. Visit www.garrador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
Feel the soothing effects of Sunny Chin's back manipulation and crystal therapy. 1 hour half price special for the month of September. Normally $110, now $55. Book your session today.
University of Otago. Usually the atmosphere is charged with the energy of student life. But this week is the week before exams.
Hey, Tane. Not now, man. I'm panicking. Come on, mate. I know just what you need. In here? No. Is this it? No. This is the place to ease your stress.
Hey, Tane. Fancy a little cuddle?
If you're staring at empty walls, stare no longer. The Dunedin Art Show has arrived. Visit Dunedin's largest ever art show and take part in Otago's art sales event of the year. View and buy original artworks from established and emergent New Zealand artists. Thousands of artworks priced from $50. Opening night gala Thursday the 21st of September, with show days from Friday the 22nd to Sunday the 24th from 10 a.m. at the Edgar Centre, Andersons Bay. Visit the DunedinArtShow.co.nz for tickets and more info.
Thanks for staying with us. Naseby Forest was resounding to the barks and yelps of dog teams this weekend. The Husky teams were competing in a dryland sled dog race. The South Today went to have a look.
You don't need snow and ice to race Husky teams in Naseby. Young Jake Faulkner explains how sled dogs have become a passion for him.
Oh, the dogs are just incredible, and when I'm out there I feel like the luckiest person alive.
Jake's father feels the TV program Game of Thrones has inspired too many people to take huskies as pets without appreciating the work involved in keeping a large, energetic dog.
Yeah, we've got 6 Siberian Huskies. They've all come from rescue homes. Reason is a lot of people see Games of Thrones and want them as either status symbols because they think they're cute and cuddly, which they are cute and cuddly, but they are really hard work, and they really are. You need to understand the dogs before you even think about getting them.
The racecourse traverses many different terrains, and race marshal Nathan Boscher is looking forward to the challenge.
there's a huge variety that they're going to contend with. And just for fun, he threw in a couple of water crossings, so they're all going to get wet feet today too. So they'll be enjoying themselves.
Justin Faulkner says the sport is a pleasure for both the people and the dogs.
With men, women, from any age, it doesn't matter. There's no boundaries on what your sex or whatever you are. You can all compete on a level field, and it's such a great family sport, and it's great to see these dogs doing what dogs should be doing.
The weekend-long event featured about 15 competitors on courses ranging from a short 10-kilometre run to a 50-kilometre challenge. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
The end of winter was celebrated at the remarkable ski field yesterday. Marking the change of season, Mina Anso took a look at skiers and snowboarders who braved an icy plunge. Viewers are advised that this item contains some nudity.
One snowboarder at the jump and freeze competition at the Remarkables yesterday bet a little more than expected. He was one of many in fancy dress who braved the icy water.
How cold is it?
Bloody freezing, it's it's colder than I thought.
As for American Patrick Hulgren, this sort of stuff is right up his alley. And he made it to the top podium spot.
To kind of show them, because, God knows if they seen me ski or, seen me do any cool things. So to take this win home in front of them, in front of my home crowd, just is so good. I am on top of the world right now. It's funny how you don't think you can get happier some days, and then something like this happens, and you're just like, I'm just so pumped right now.
Others, though, weren't so lucky.
It's a shock when you hit that water. It is just icy, just icy cold, and it's not as deep as you think.
Tell me about your costume when you wore. This is what remained of the costume. Let's show the camera.
Had the gorilla head.
The jump and freeze event marks the end of winter and the end of another ski season. Mina Anso, The South Today.
And concluding the South Today's extensive coverage of the Winter Games, it was a bronze medal kind of day for New Zealand snowboarder Carlos Garcia Knight and Zoe Sadowski-Synnott. Both took third place in their respective snowboard slopestyle World Cup finals at Cadrona today. Mina Anso was there.
Nice.
The sun shone bright for New Zealand bronze medalists Zoe Sadowski-Synnott and Carlos Garcia Knight, both taking third spots on the podium at the FIS Snowboard Slopestyle World Cup final.
Wee pop-outs like that can really impress the judges because it just shows how much board control that you have, and they are looking for board control.
It was a dream come true for the 16-year-old Wanaka snowboarder.
Twice! Absolutely fearless.
What tipped you over to make into that podium spot? I just cleaned up my second run. I landed my first run, but it was a bit sketchy. Then I cleaned up on my second, and then I was pretty lucky to have such amazing just up my score and was still in third, and I was just waiting to see how the other girls went, really.
And it was also first time on the podium at a World Cup final for Garcia Knight.
Look at that, he didn't even move his arms on that backside 360 out. Frontside 1080 double cork. He carries his speed here. Backside 1260 double cork. Carlos, this is an incredible run.
Getting those back-to-back 1260s was new for me, so that's definitely a big one.
Carlos's grandma came all the way to watch Carlos.
And it's her first time up at a ski field, so she's made the big effort at 81 to come and support them.
I've never podiumed at a World Cup event, so for her to be here for the first time that it's happened it's crazy, like perfect timing.
Jamie Anderson of the USA and Marcus Cleveland of Norway won the men and women's events. Mina Anso, The South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on The South Today. It's 19 days until Election Day, and the Dunedin North Electoral Office is helping people to get voting as Election Day draws near. The occupants of a logging truck and train had a lucky escape after a collision in Invercargill this morning. And today is the 7th anniversary of the Christchurch earthquake, with red zone areas now becoming parkland, and Kaiapoi settlers have made a community fruit forest. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome Craig Page.
Good evening. Yeah, big news for us today with confirmation that convicted wife killer Colin Bauer has finally been granted parole and will be released from prison. He was jailed back in 2001 after being convicted of giving his wife a sort of a cocktail of drugs over a long period to try and mask an illness. She sadly eventually died. And it kind of died down, but then there were some questions raised about it and police started an investigation which ultimately led to Colin Bauer being convicted of murdering his wife. The South African couple, they came to Dunedin and he was head of psychiatry at Otago University, so quite a well-known person around town. Part of his parole is that he's going to be deported back to South Africa, pretty much out of Christchurch prison and on the plane back to South Africa. So yeah, we've got a big story tomorrow and lots of reaction to that as well. As I say, it has been a big story we've done a lot of words on over the years. Yeah, because that had a large following, and that was his second wife too, and there was something that... Yeah, he'd been previously married in South Africa as well. And I think his wife over there had died as well. But so it was a wee bit... Quite a history there, but it'd be nice to see him heading back to South Africa, I think. Yeah, I think they can have him. Yes. Tonight's the first night of Stars on Stage at the Regent Theatre, every second year for primary and intermediate schools, where they get to showcase their talents on the big stage at the Regent, going for 3 nights. And it's always a packed performance. Lots of parents will be disappointed because they didn't get their tickets quickly enough, but they do get snapped up. And we'll have lots of photos from tonight's performance in tomorrow's paper as well. So look out for your children. So looking at tomorrow's future stars, are we? Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, I've been to a couple myself, and there are some really talented kids out there, and a lot of time and effort goes into various schools. I think the principals will be pleased it's over and they can get back to the classroom instead of practicing. Yes. And we've got a nice story about Queenstown Lakes paddleboarder Annabelle Anderson, who's won an event at the World Championships, the World Stand-Up Paddleboard Championships in Denmark at the weekend. Interesting thing was that she'd lost all her gear in transit, so turned up without any gear, without any paddleboards, had to beg and borrow to get the equipment to compete, but it didn't seem to have any problem for her because she came out on top in the 18k race. She's got some shorter races coming up over coming days, so likely more success there as well. Oh, fantastic. And so she lost all her gear in transit? Yeah, just didn't turn up, so she was panicking there for a while, but she knew that provided she could get a gear, she'd be able to put on a strong performance, so it all worked out for her in the end. Oh, well done. Lovely, thanks for that, and something certainly to read in tomorrow's ODT. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Silberhorn Collagen Plus.
Starting with today's southern view taken of street art in South Dunedin. Looking at the situation, a westerly airflow is expected this week with winds increasing tomorrow and rain in western districts, but mostly fine weather in the east. A colder southwesterly is due at the weekend. To the southern towns where 14 is the temperature tomorrow, Balclutha has strong northwesterlies, rain later, and a 14. Catlins has freshening northwesterlies, high cloud increasing. Gore strong northwesterlies but rain later on, while Lumsden has strong northwesterlies, rain later, and you guessed it, 14 again. To the centre of the island, Alexandra freshening northwesterlies, high cloud increasing and 15 degrees. Queenstown's freshening northwesterlies, high cloud increasing and 14 degrees. In Te Anau, strong northwesterlies, rain and again 14 degrees. And to the northern towns, Oamaru freshening northwesterlies, high cloud increasing and 16 degrees. Omarama freshening northwesterlies, some high clouds and 14. Timaru moderate northeasterlies, fine and 15 degrees. And Twizel freshening northwesterlies and the temperature of the day 14 degrees. Here in Dunedin tonight, cloud increasing with an overnight low of just 5 degrees. Tomorrow mostly fine with high cloud and fresh gusty and milder northerly winds 14 and 9, and on Wednesday mostly fine with sunny periods and high cloud and fresh mild westerly winds. And to Invercargill tonight, cloud increasing with an overnight low of 7, tomorrow cloudy with scattered rain in the late afternoon and fresh gusterly northwesterlies, a high of 14 and a low of 8. And it's a changeable on Hump Day Wednesday with rain spreading from the west at times, but some fine periods too becoming cooler, with strong gusty winds to northwest winds 14 and 8. And that's our news for this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook and at channel39.co.nz. I hope you all have a great evening. Take care. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.